What's up guys, it's your boy Dekkster here, and we have a crazy meta right now in Hearthstone. This is going to be a top decks video for July, and it seems like there's still good archetypes that people have yet to discover. And I don't know, meta is so diverse, lots of good lists for you to choose, and I'm just personally enjoying it a lot right now. Hearthstone is in a good spot in my opinion. So this video is sponsored by Massdrop. If you're in the market for some fantastic earbuds, stick around till the end of the video and I'll show you some cool stuff. All the stats we will be going over are provided by Vicious Syndicate. You can check out their full report in the description below. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So for class archetype distribution, let's look at ranks 4 to 1. And we can see there are a ton of druids. Almost 20% of what you're seeing is going to be a druid archetype, and lots of taunt druids. Obviously, there's still a lot of token druid, Malygos druid, and big druid. I think Malygos and big druid, you're going to start seeing a little bit more of those because they're performing so well. Taunt druid starting to lose a little bit of its flavor, however, still a very strong deck. And then we got you know, lots of rogues out there. It's pretty even between odd and miracle, but as of this report, seems like a little more miracle, but that could fluctuate. And then for Warlock, this one's a little crazy. We got Evenlock, Zoolock, and Cubelock. Now, Zoolock was not a thing last month. I mean, it was a thing, but no one was really having insane success with it. But now we have this Heal Zoolock variant that is doing insanely well. And this report from Vicious Syndicate does not actually cover a lot of the Zoo statistics. So maybe Zoo Warlock is actually tier 1, but it will not be reflected as that in this video or this report. So we'll have to wait for next month to see, you know, how Zoolock kind of performs. Is it just a fad? Will it phase out very quickly? Nobody knows. But even Warlock, always going to be a thing. Cubelock not doing as good as people had expected. Then we got Shudderwock Shaman and Even Shaman, both doing great. Even Shaman still not too popular despite its success. A ton of Shudderwock though. Then we got a ton of Hunters, ton of Katharina, ton of Spell Hunters, both great archetypes. Katharina was a lot more popular before, but now it seems like Spell Hunters kind of starting to pick up steam again. And then Paladin, main list just seems to be odd Paladin. So if you're against a Paladin, assume it's odd, mulligan accordingly. For Mage, we got Big Spell Mage and Aluneth Mage. Marelok Mage, kind of Aluneth Mage-ish. I don't know. I still think Marelok Mage is a very strong archetype, and we'll see when we get to the power rankings. But Big Spell Mage, very, very good. Especially really good against the new Zoo Warlock archetype. That's probably going to see some popularity. It's just really good at shutting down, you know, board flooding archetypes because you got all the board clears. Priest struggling to find footing. Nothing seems to be doing too well. And then also Taunt Warrior, or just Warrior class in general, struggling, with Taunt Warrior being the best. And then if we look at Legend here, very, very similar. I'm not going to talk through this one. Pretty much same thoughts as rank 4 to 1, but we can see a little bit more druids, a little bit less of the less popular classes, a little bit more of the stronger classes, because you're at legend, people are sometimes pushing for that top legend. So you're going to see more Pallies, you're going to see more miracle rogues, you're going to see more taunt druids, stuff like that. Legend and ranks 4 to 1, very, very similar. So for class frequency, we can see that a druid has a spike in popularity from last week. Very, very big spike, actually. Hunter fallen quite a bit. Rogue also fallen because people are starting to expect Miracle Rogue. They're just learning to play around it. And then we got Warlock also spiking up in popularity. A lot of other things falling, but it seems mostly Paladin's going up because Odd Paladin is just, it's going to stick around. We got Shudderwock Shaman performing nicely, so that's spiking up. And then, yeah, once again, Warlock and Druid. But let's look at by day, because this is where it gets really, really interesting. Look at that spike in Warlock. What do you think that is, boys? That's the Heal Zoo Warlock. It is doing so well right now. Like, Zoo, people were messing around with egg lists, you know, other Keliseth lists, and this Healing Zoo list just, I'm not sure who made it, but props to whoever made it. This thing is doing incredibly well. I personally found it through HS Replay a few days ago, and play this one. Play this one. It's insanely synergistic, and it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It flows very nicely. But yeah, we can see, you know, Priest and Warrior falling in that play. Paladin actually dropping. I think a lot of odd Paladin players switching to that Zoolock possibly. Rogue falling maybe to the same sort of thing, but Shaman still doing okay, still doing all right. Okay, here are the matchup win rates. You know, red is bad, green is good. Zoo Warlock, once again, not really represented on this one, but it seems like if you're just looking for lots of green, my eyes kind of gravitate towards Odd Paladin over here. It just seems pretty dang nice, and of course, even Warlock also looking pretty good. All right, so for power rankings, I'm actually going to skip all ranks. Pause if you want to see the chart here. And then we got ranks 4 to 1. So many things in tier 1 and tier 2, which means you can play a lot of archetypes here and still have a good time, still have a decent win rate. So, Token Druid, #1 here. Then we got Malygos Druid, Big Spell Mage, Even Warlock, Odd Paladin, and Big Druid rounding up tier 1. Pick any of those if you want some smooth sailing. And then for Legend, we only got 4 in the top here. And 3 of them are actually Druid. We got Malygos Druid, Token Druid, Big Druid, and Odd Paladin. So maybe Druid's going to be an issue until the next expansion hits, and hopefully they don't give Druid too many powerful cards because they're already doing insanely well. Once again, these power rankings are probably not taking into consideration the Heal Zoo list that has been, you know, performing so nicely since before these guys were able to collect some stats. All right, so let's look at the meta score. This ranks 4 to 1. We got the x-axis showing the power and the y-axis showing the frequency. So if you want something powerful, look for that bottom right. Maybe you want something with not a lot of frequency because then people aren't expecting it. Maybe your choice is Malygos Druid. Maybe you want Token Druid. Maybe you want Big Spell Mage. You see where this is going. But if you want a strong but popular list, you can go with Odd Paladin. If we look at Legend, a lot of things hitting that 100 power or getting real close to it. We can see Malygos Druid. God, it's so good. It's difficult to pilot. It requires some 200 IQ in certain situations. And if your opponent's running weapon destruction to destroy your twig, it's going to be an issue. But a lot of people aren't running much weapon destruction because not a lot of people play Malygos Druid to a high potential. So if you want to stick with Malygos Druid, you know, and do some crazy plays, master a deck, maybe you want to stick with this one because it's powerful, but it's not seen a lot. So I'm going to jump into each class and talk about 1 or 2 archetypes that I find interesting. Doesn't mean they're necessarily the only good archetypes or anything like that. So I'm sorry if I don't talk about you know, one that you're really passionate about. Maybe I'm not going to cover Marelok Priest or something like that. Let's start with Druid. Druid has so many good lists out there. We got Taunt Druid, we got Malygos Druid, we got Big Druid, we got Togwaggle Druid, and Token Druid. All those doing insanely well right now. The 2 I'm going to talk about are going to be Big Druid and Malygos Druid. We got Feno's Big Druid right here. And this list actually hit #1 Legend early on this month. Not a lot of people expecting this one. It's not too popular yet. We got Bright-Eyed Scouts, which are a lot of fun, so you can cheese out your more expensive minions. And then, of course, you got Master Brocart, which if you kind of just get him on curve, and my god, is this curvy with Wild Growth and Nourish. But if you get him on curve, it's going to pull out a Drakari Enchanter, it's going to pull out a Dragon Hatcher, and in return, it's going to pull out 2 Sleepy Dragons, or a Ysera and a Sleepy Dragon, or something crazy, a couple Primordial Drakes. I don't know, it's just insanely good. And if you can manage to pull out Brocart on 9, or maybe even sooner, it's almost a free win. Almost. Not guaranteed, but it's almost. So that's a fun one. Definitely expensive. A lot of expensive lists here today. But we also got Orange's Malygos Druid. And Malygos Druid is insanely powerful. Insanely powerful, guys, but it's very difficult to pilot. This is something you're gonna, you know, it's gonna have a high learning curve. You're gonna need to sink in 10-20 hours possibly before you start getting the hang of this thing. Maybe a couple hundred games, somewhat reminiscent to the difficulty of Q-Block, in my opinion, maybe even harder than Q-Block. But you know, there's Q-Block players and there's Q-Block players, just because the list is difficult to play. High learning curve, and yeah, once again, Malygos Druid, it's crazy. There's multiple ways you can win. Malygos, you break the twig, you faceless, you moonfire, you swipe, something like that. But what if your opponent destroys your twig and you can't get it? Or what if the twig's at the bottom of your deck? There's still other ways to win. And one thing that makes Druid strong in general is this card called Spreading Plague. if your opponent, you know, floods the board as an odd paladin, you're just spreading plague and you make a stronger board than them. Or if they flood it with, I don't know, they're playing the new zoo list, you just play spreading plague. So definitely look into Druid. Druid is incredibly strong right now. Rogue also doing pretty good. This expansion, we got a very, very strong odd rogue, which is just, it gets insane tempo. It's hard for your opponent to deal with. That 2-attack dagger is so good. And then I'm not gonna talk about it because I feel like I covered that one before. Everyone knows about it. I mean, I am gonna talk about Miracle Rogue, and everyone knows about this one as well. There's two variations. There's the one with the sprint, and then there's a standard one with the auctioneer. Choose which one you want. They have different playstyles, but they're both very, very good. Now, right now, it's kind of seeing a little bit of a lull. A lot of people are expecting it, and they're kind of playing accordingly, and they're beating it. But Miracle Rogue seems to do its best when no one expects it. So once it starts falling out of popularity, bring it on the ladder, and you know, show some people who's boss. Show them who's boss. You know how it works. You play some boys out there. You play the auctioneer. You cycle your cards. You make a big Edwin. You play the thugs. You make big thugs. You play the striders. You pull big spiders. That's it. That's all we got. That's it. Miracle Rogue. It's good. It's classic. Learn to play it. It is hard to play. Not as hard as Malygos Druid, in my opinion, but still very hard to play. Okay, so I feel like the big story this month is gonna be Zoolock. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. First, Cube Lock, Even Lock, still good lists, still fantastic, just not new and fresh. They're still great. They're still great. Play them if you enjoy them. They're fantastic. Even Lock seems to be more popular than Cube. Is doing great. But Taka, I guess it's Taka who made this list. I'm not sure if he made it or he piloted it or whatever, but he hit rank 1 legend with this Healing Zoo Warlock list. Oh my, this is genius. It's so much fun. I've had a great time playing this. If you want to check out me playing it, you can check my channel. Has insane synergy. We got Light Warden, which we can throw down early. We got Voodoo Doctor, which we can heal, which synergizes with the Light Warden. Then we also got the Fungal Enchanter, which even more synergy. You can heal your whole board, make your Light Warden really huge. And Happy Ghoul, which is pretty much a free 0 mana 3/3, which you can't complain about, a 0 mana 3/3. Then Life Drinker, which heals us even more. And then you know, you kind of seal the deal with the Fungal Mancer or something like that. If you're playing against a lot of odd paladins, we got the Dreadlords, which can kind of just win the game on their own. But if you want, and you want to tech it a little bit to beat odd paladins even more so, you can throw in some Sea Giants. There's some Sea Giants in a few lists. I even saw one list with Glinda and Sea Giants. I was playing a little bit of that. Pretty fun. For me, the best one seems to be Taka's. I personally am having the most success with that list, but you may be different. I mean, there's even lists running Doom Guards in there. Maybe you want to run some Doom Guards. Maybe you want to run 1 Leroy, 1 Doom. I don't know. You do what you want. It's fantastic. Play it. And I mean, if you really want a real budget version, you're a poor boy. Maybe you run the one with Doom Guards. Hopefully you can, you know, make a Void Ripper or something. Maybe you drop Keleseth and you put in a Homunculus or something. It's not going to perform nearly as well, but it's your broke boy list. That's your broke boy one. Minus Keleseth, minus Void Ripper, plus 2 Homuncs. I don't know. You'll figure it out. Shaman doing good, guys. 2 strong archetypes. We got Shudderwock and we got Even Shaman. I don't know why we're not seeing so many Even Shamans. They're doing great. But let's go ahead and talk about Shudderwock Shaman. This list seems near perfect to me. Near perfect. What would you change? Maybe with this current meta where you're seeing a lot of Lich Kings, you're seeing a lot of Sleepy Dragons, maybe you drop an Earth Shock for a Black Knight, which also has synergy with Shudderwock. I like Hemet here. Hemet's great for, you know, really speeding up your combo, getting rid of some dead draws, that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of Hemet. It does have a lot of niche legendaries with, you know, Hagatha, Shudderwock, Hemet, Grumble. So maybe if you're on a budget, you might not want to build this one unless this is like the only list you want to play. That's a huge dust investment while being such niche cards. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, once you play the Shudderwock, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It frustrates your opponents. So if that's what you're into, check it out. Shudderwock hasn't changed too much. Once again, list near perfect. Paladin hasn't changed too much. We just got Odd Paladin. Even Paladin, people are starting to find lists and stuff with it. It's just not doing as well as Odd Paladin. So Odd Paladin is going to be a clear victor here. List not too different from days past, but we are dropping Stonehills in favor of Void Rippers because they really strengthen the bad matchups and they really don't hurt the good matchups at all. So you're going to win your good matches and you're going to make your bad matches less bad. That makes sense. Let's say you put a bunch of dudes on the board. Your opponent plays a Doomsayer. Void Ripper, poof, he's gone. Your opponent's spreading plagues. You're bored of 1/1s. Oh no, you're against a bunch of 1/5 minions. Nope, you just Void Ripper, you swap them over, and you clear his board. So Spreading Plague turns into a board clear instead of a board clear, and you know, they build a fortress that you cannot get through. Because it would seem like Plague was almost a instant lose in some situations, but not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Not with the Void Rippers. So really enjoying this list. People keep asking me, do you need Corridor Creeper? Yeah, it's good. You kind of need it. It's expensive, I know. But if you want to play Odd Paladin to its maximum capabilities, you kind of need Corridor Creeper. But once again, Level Up is such a strong card. So strong. Flood your board with your dudes, hit them with the level up, all of a sudden they're 3/3s. Difficult to deal with. Much more difficult to deal with 3/3s than 1/1s. Am I right? Yeah. So I guess Hunter's kind of in a weird spot. Maybe you want to play Katharina, but you're going to struggle against Odd Paladin and, you know, board flooding archetypes. So then maybe you play Spell Hunter because Spellstone is so good, but then you're going to struggle against Taunt Druid and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of in a weird spot, but I think in general Spell Hunter is going to be a little bit better. So here's the standard Spell Hunter list. We got, you know, we got traps in there, which are really nice, and they buff up your Spellstone. Your best card in the whole deck is definitely going to be Spellstone, because for 3/3s, it's really overwhelming. And if your opponent can't deal with that, they kind of lose. If you're playing against maybe like a new Healing Zoo archetype, Spellstone might be hard for them to deal with. So that's kind of what you're banking on here. You do have Hunter's Mark to get through some of those big boys, but you only got 2 of them. And your opponent probably has a lot more than 2 big boys. So yeah, Hunter's seeing a big decline here, and I can kind of understand why. But Katharina's still doing decently. Spell Hunter's still doing decently. Take your pick. It's not like it's going to be a terrible deck. It's just not as good as it was a little bit ago. So Mage is in a pretty decent spot here. We got 3 strong archetypes. We got Big Spell Mage, which might see a jump in its performance due to doing pretty well against Druids, Warlocks, Rogues, and aggressive archetypes. It does really well against Healing Zoo. We also got Aluneth Mage, and then we got Marelok Mage, which is new this month. I mean, I feel like there were lists around before, but they weren't doing great. But then guys actually hit rank 1 legend with this list last month. And oh my god, it's great. It's fantastic. It has insane draw power, a lot of synergy between the different Murlocs. We got Book of Specters in there, which almost guarantees you 2 draws, usually 3, sometimes 1 if you're very unlucky. But I still feel like the best version of Marelok Mage has not yet been found. I'm thinking maybe dropping Glyph in favor of Keysmiths could be a good call. I saw Apex Void doing that. So, I don't know, maybe there's room for experimentation, but in general, you kind of just play on curve here, you nut out, and your opponent can't deal with it. Tidecaller on 1 into, you know, like Rockpool Hunter, into Cold Light Seer or Amalgam, and then following up with a Megasaur. It's really difficult to deal with. One of the best aggro decks out there right now. Is Heal Zoo better? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we got Aluneth in here for a little bit more draw. This list is not running Fungalmancers at all. But I also saw some people, you know, so they were cutting Aluneth, and instead they were putting a Fungalmancer because I don't know. It seals the deal sometimes. But maybe Aluneth is the way to go. If you have it, use it. If you don't, maybe you want to mess around with a Fungalmancer or something like that. Maybe a Keysmith. I don't know. It's up to you. There's some room for experimentation, like I said. So Priest, the second least played class with reason. It's just there's nothing seems to be doing that well. We got the combo priest, we got mind blast control priest, we got the standard quest priest, and we also have Marelok priest, which wasn't doing too great. People thought it was maybe good. It's kind of just no. It's kind of just Zalae's combo priest seems to be your best option here if you're looking for, you know, playing some priest, doing some priest action. We got, of course, the classic combo interaction between Divine Spirit and Inner Fire. So you play a big boy, maybe it's a Twilight Drake, and then you Divine, Inner, stuff like that. Maybe some Power Word shields in there. Maybe your Radiant Elemental makes things cheaper. Maybe you have Shadow Vision so you can get more Divines, more Inner Fires, and yeah, but overall not performing too great. But if you're looking for one priest, you just really gotta play your priest. You really have to, and it's probably combo priest. This is probably the one. So unfortunately, warrior, the only viable list or archetype seems to be taunt warrior. You know, the quest taunt warrior. People were trying rush packages and stuff. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. This seems to be the only thing, and it does great against Odd Paladin. Does great against Token Druid, and just you know, aggro lists. It's pretty good against, but bad against taller lists. Katharina is kind of a struggle. It's kind of an issue, but Katharina is falling down in popularity, so maybe this is going to be a good choice. You're seeing a lot of Odd Paladins. You're seeing a lot of Token Druids. Maybe this is the one. It's also decent against Hadronox Druids that rely on Witching Hour, because you get to play Cornered Sentry, and it you know, makes it really hard for them to actually get their Witching Hour to pull the Hadronox. Plus, if they pull off a Hadronox, they get a board full of big boys, you kind of just brawl it and it's gone. It's not a big issue. But yeah, Taunt Warrior, if you're looking for some warrior, I don't know. I enjoy this list. Check it out. Check it out. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's warrior. It's there, and it's kind of just, it's going to be a thing. It's not going to be a great thing. You know what I'm saying. It's okay. All right, guys, so once again, this video is sponsored by Mastrap, so be sure to check them out in the description below. If you're in the market for some earbuds, these are great. I've owned a lot of earbuds. I've gone through a ton of them. I've had Sennheisers, but these are by far my favorite. I use these every day. Every day. I'm always wearing them during stream. If I'm traveling, I'm bringing these bad boys because they're just so comfortable. They look great. I can wear them for hours on end, guys. Hours and hours, 8 hours straight. My ears feel great. Oh, that kind of rhymed. And then yeah, insane value. If you get them through the link below, through Mass Drop, it's a great deal. Great value. All right, boys, so sorry if I didn't cover a list you're really excited about or something like that. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I just missed it somehow. But there's always next month. There's always next month. And also, Zoolock maybe becoming popular. Maybe it's going to make something else become popular as well. I don't know. But Zoolock seems to be tier 1. So if you're looking for one list to play, I'm having the most fun with Zoolock right now. That's what I'm going to be playing the most. But then once again, if you're looking for a high learn curve, a very difficult list to play, maybe it's Malygos Druid. So take your pick, or you could just play anything else. Look at the power rankings, choose something nice. Choose something fun, choose something good. Odd Paladin's always a great choice. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Be sure to follow my Twitch stream. Hit the like button here too as well. Hit that sub button, the notification bell, and that's gonna be it, boys. I'll catch you later. See you in the next video. Bye bye.